Hey friends, welcome to Sassy AF TV and the Sassy AF audio experience, Season 3, Episode 8, How to Pivot in Life with Grace and Style. What am I going to do that makes me happy? This is a quote from this week's guest and one of my favorite women, Queen Shan Shan, aka Shannon Langhorne. Shannon is a passionate woman and shares her passions for beauty, food, travel, and culture with the world. She is the host of a broadcast podcast and has an empowering community of followers in her A Broad Productions Facebook group. This week, Queen Shan Shan and I are chatting about how to pivot in life when you need to most. COVID-19 is not the first time Shannon has had to pivot in life, and she shares her stories of how she has continued to follow her passions and succeed even when life throws challenges her way. We talk about living your best life, travel, makeup, volunteering, Black Lives Matter, and honoring who we are at our core. As Queen Shan Shan says, I am doing the best I can do in life, and every day is a new journey. Thanks for being here and listening to this powerful episode. Welcome back to another episode of Sassy AF TV and the Sassy AF audio experience. I'm Hallie Avolio, and my fabulous guest today is Queen Shan Shan. Hey, Shannon.
And the audience is screaming. Everyone's doing flips and somersaults. Hi!
The queens are in the house. That's what we were just talking about before we hit record here.
Yes, actually, let me do my flip, my little down here to show
please.
The audience is arrived. The audience is here.
Woo!
Because it is hot today.
It is hot today. I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, it's so wonderful to have you on the show. So Shannon Langhorne, for those of you who don't yet know Queen Shan Shan, she has I can't talk today. She has a podcast as well. She is a travel guru, a makeup expert, a foodie. She also sells insurance. And
yes.
And she does all the things. So we met about a year ago and have become really good friends over that time. And it's just so fun to have you here, Shannon. I love your energy so much. And you always just bring a big smile to my face. So I'm excited for you to share your story and talk to the audience about how they can, embrace positivity in their life every single day. So tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm 48 years old. I come from a very small family. It's my parents and my brother, and that's it. And we obviously have cousins, but that's the immediate family. And my dad has always been an entrepreneur. He's been in insurance he was in insurance for 55 years. My mom's been also an entrepreneur, but she was, the caretaker of the family. And they encouraged both of me and my brother to live our dreams and that we are the best that we can be, or be the best that we can be. My parents come from very, very meager lifestyles. They were both very, very poor. And so they wanted the best for us and me and my brother. So I got my degree in fashion design. My brother got his degree in conceptual art. And he's still doing what he wants to do, but I completely am not doing what I was supposed to do, right? I went from real estate, commercial real estate, to residential real estate, marketing, or lending and mortgage on the financial aspect. And then here I am in insurance. But it wasn't making me happy. And a long time ago, a bunch of us, which Missy also incorporated, we know Miss Melissa.
Yes.
We started a mastermind group of us ladies, and we were all in our 20s or early 30s, and we all were entrepreneurs. So we had, a couple yogis. Missy was in the group. She was starting her Karma Chow business. I was starting my insurance business. Nicole starting her public affairs business. We had other ladies who had individual businesses, and we all came together once a month and got together and we shared our goals and we became accountable for each other. And one of my biggest goals, literally 12 years ago, was I was going to travel the world. I was going to make enough money to travel the world extensively. And at that time, we had a huge recession. Look what's happening now. So we had a huge recession in 2007, 2008. And that's when I started a new career. And it's really funny. I texted you yesterday, or I emailed you a couple days ago about what we're going to talk about. And one thing I know that has come to my heart that was hard in 2006 and 2007 was pivoting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now pivoting again. So I just came back from an amazing vacation across the country, literally across the country. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I pivoted from traveling 13 to 12 countries a year to only traveling one country this year.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, people are like, oh my God, what kind of pivot is that, Shannon? That's, a lot of people wish they could travel one country a year. Absolutely. But for me, when you're taking away a passion,
mm-hmm.
is traveling, which I wake up every morning, I work, I take care of my parents, I pay the bills, I do whatever I do to survive. But when it comes to knowing that I was going on a plane next month or in 2 weeks, that's what made me get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And since this new life that we're having during the coronavirus, we can't travel as freely as we want to be. Obviously the borders are closed. Canada's
right.
closed, Europe is closed, Mexico just closed their borders. So Americans, we have to stay put and travel within our country. And with that being said, we even have our own restrictions of traveling in our own country. So the pivot has come a lot to me that I've had to take heed personally, not only in my personal life, but also my business. And I had to make major pivots in my insurance business because now, since we really are discouraged from seeing people in person, we still can because we're essential workers. We're still considered essential workers. We can go see John Smith in person, 6 feet away, with certain restrictions, obviously.
Right.
Our business, our model is pivoting to virtual.
Right.
The insurance business is known to shake your hand, to see face and face, to sign the dotted line in person.
Right.
We have in our company, in one of our agencies alone, we have over 2,000 agents who are now being trained to pivot from writing an application in person, shaking a person's hand, to doing what you and I are doing right now.
Right.
So I had to pivot personally, and I had to pivot financially and job wise. And it's a wake-up call. I'll tell you that right now.
It is a wake-up call. And I think that many people can relate to that in all the ways, whether it's in their family life, with their kids, with their partner, with their work, with their grocery shopping, right? I mean, we have all had to make these major pivots. But one thing that I really noticed about you, Shannon, is that you have embraced all of it with such grace and positivity. Now, maybe you don't think so, but
girl.
You know what? You always just have like the biggest smile on your face. You got your makeup palettes and you're still like doing up your makeup and looking hot and fly. And, you got your travel, you're figuring out, okay, I can't travel internationally, so I'm going to travel domestically and I'm going to, have a ball and just make the most of it. So
absolutely.
How do you do that? How do you, really tap into that side of yourself where you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to have fun doing it my way?
I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of pondering, a lot of going to bed, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like wide awake like this. And I hate it. Insomniacs can totally relate. But when you're up, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and during COVID, where you're going to bed now at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and you wake up at 10, I was actually starting to do that. And I was like, I'd stop that, Hallie. So I think habit is a key for me. Thinking of, okay, if I'm not going to travel to Greece this year, I'm not going to travel to Spain, or I was supposed to be in Canada in June. What am I going to do that makes me happy? So I'm going to figure out who I can visit. And I literally was thinking about my travels and how the restrictions were going to be in terms of different states. When I make certain decisions, people can do a thought process like this. And sometimes I can be spontaneous, but then regret that spontaneity.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's times where I've thought about a position or a situation for weeks at a time and then regret that I wasn't spontaneous. It's like, Is there a middle ground? Yes, there is. But when do I find my personal middle ground in making certain decisions in my life? I've made poor decisions, and I try not to repeat those decisions again because I want to learn a lesson. One thing I definitely learned through this coronavirus and this interesting time is laziness doesn't work. Laziness doesn't work.
Amen, sister.
Yeah, people got to realize when you're self-employed, no one is knocking on your door telling you to get out of bed and go call 100 people who are pissed off at their lives, pissed off that they don't have a job, pissed off that, they're sick, or they may have had a relative that may be passing away, or a friend that's passed away due to this sickness. But I've had to make calls, and I have to get on this computer every day and put on makeup because I have to be presentable to my clients. Trust, right. You guys don't want, you see me without makeup, girl, in my crazy Instagram.
I love it. She's got her face mask. You guys have to follow Shan on Instagram because she's great. She does her face mask. She cooks amazing like vegetarian meals, and she's but she's living her life. And then you've got the other times where you put on these fabulous wigs, and you have these makeup palettes that are Jeffree Star or whoever else. I don't even know. I'm not so good at the makeup, but you do it all up. I'm like, wow, it's awesome.
Well, because I'm single, I live by myself. I can do whatever I want to do. Well, it's really interesting. We live in a life where we think the grass is always greener on the other side. Mm-hmm. Look at you and your family, and I'm like, oh wow, it must be nice to wake up to a husband and wake up to children and cook breakfast for them and hang out with them. But then the other side is I have people like yourself saying, wow, I wish I could just wake up by myself and not worry about and my children and hanging out with kids. So everybody thinks the grass is greener on the other side, but it's not. It's what you have and what we should.
That's right.
Right. So I'm embracing the fact that being single during this very difficult time is hard for me, and it's hard for a lot of extroverts. Mm-hmm. My brother's an introvert, so he's loving this.
He's like, I'm happy. I'm all by myself.
On his job, and he's doing whatever he's doing right now to survive. I'm dying. I'm like, I want to see you, and I want to see my friends, and I want to see my BFFs, and I want to go travel the world. So again, the word pivot is incredibly important these last 6 months for me, actually, because it's basically a regeneration of who I am and who I'm going to be in the next maybe 18 months in dealing with this. We don't know how long this is going to be. If this is the new normal, well, you guys, we have to get used to the new normal.
Exactly. It's going to be quite a while. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the thing, right? We get so stuck in our ways that we get really nervous about change, and we get really nervous to pivot. I mean, that's human nature. I think we all do it. Anybody who says they don't, they're lying, right? I mean, please, you're lying. If you say that change doesn't make you a little bit nervous, please. But the thing is, we always get the choice, right? We get the choice of how do we deal with that nervousness, that fear. So we can choose, like, do we let the fear consume us, and do we just crawl into a ball and go into the fetal position and, hide in the corner? Or do we embrace it and put on our fabulous makeup and just do it?
Honey, we do it. We do it, because if we don't, then we're going to be in that shell, and we're going to be in that depression. We're going to be seeking out a therapist every day and spending $200 an hour that I definitely can't afford.
Right.
So I do have a therapist, and I actually should call her. I haven't called her in a while, just to talk to her and tell her what's going on. One thing about me doing the podcast, I have lipstick, hair in my lips, is that the podcast and the Instagrams and the videos are my outlet. Mm-hmm. If you guys need to find an outlet, this is the time to find an outlet. If we can't go to the beaches right now, if we can't go to your amazing restaurants and things are closed, find something else that's going to make you happy. If I can't get on a plane to Bali, I'm going to find something else that's going to make me happy. What I found is also volunteering.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Right. So I've been volunteering the last 3 weeks to this amazing company or amazing foundation called Children Mending Hearts. And it's an organization that helps educate, feed, and empower children, mm-hmm. their community. And I met this one lady, Siobhan, a year ago at another event. And I just kept in tabs with her on Instagram, and I see her stuff, she sees my stuff. And then she says she started starting a food bank and passing out clothes and food and supplies to children and to families in need and wants at the Watts Empowerment Center. So what I do on a Wednesday morning, I got up and just took a shower and been going over there the last 3 or 4 weeks. Because I didn't want to also feel sorry for myself. And even though I want to see my friends and we are in a pandemic, there are people a lot less fortunate than me,
right,
who need my help. So I just put a mask on and I've been going out there. So adjusting to something that I'm used to doing, I'm now putting more of a heart and getting more actually a better feeling about it too.
Oh, well, I mean, I've spent tons of time volunteering, and I agree. It's very rewarding to be able to give back, especially to people that really need our help. And right now in particular, these kids, these families, people need our help more than ever. So I think that that's really incredible that you're, taking the time to do it and also really, really enjoying it.
Yes, I'm enjoying it. I did it this morning and it was in the sun. It was hot. I was sweaty, but the community is in need. And if someone me who can just donate 3 or 4 hours of my time on a Wednesday, once a week, God is definitely is rewarding me with just breathing and knowing that my parents are still alive and healthy, my family is still alive and healthy. That's really what's important right now.
Absolutely. And I'll include, if you'll give me the name of the organization again, I'll include the link to their website in the show notes. So if anyone else is interested in volunteering, they're in the LA area, or if they want to donate funds, definitely want to support that organization.
Clothes, they need books, clothes, food, money. Obviously, any charitable organization needs money. And the organization is called Children Mending Hearts.
Okay.
And Shan is the founding member.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll put them in the show notes so that they can hopefully get some more recognition, and maybe somebody will be interested in volunteering with you.
Yes, and if they have any questions, they can also contact me, and I can put them in line to the foundation.
Awesome. Another topic that, I think it's relevant, and I want to bring it up, and I want to honor, everything that's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement right now. And I have to say that I've really looked to you for guidance, and I've so appreciated your wisdom. And, when all of this was going down a few months ago, I called you up and I said, Shannon, how can I support you right now? Because obviously I'm not a Black woman, but I want to stand up and I want to be in support. And I wanted to understand, what can I do? And I know you've taken a really active role. You've been, kind of doing some videography and just getting out there and showing what's going on, especially in Los Angeles. So talk to us a little bit about that. And I'd love to get your take on that right now.
That week was really interesting. The week of that was Friday night. And to give you guys a backstory, I went to FITM. I got my degree at FITM, which is a town in Los Angeles.
Yep.
First year it opened in 1990. I was getting my undergrad there, and the LA riots started in 1992 April, I believe. So I was going to school, literally going to graduate, but I think we were finals that week. We're in finals that week. FITM is located on Grand Avenue, and at that time, Broadway, now Macy's, I'm just aging myself, it was called Broadway, now it's called Macy's.
I remember when it was Broadway, by the way.
Yeah. Broadway was looted. It was the start of the 1982
riots. Yep, Rodney.
And Broadway was looted. And the minute I got to school, everyone was like, "Get out, go back home." Because I came from Rancho Cucamonga. I'm from Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
So it was 2.5 hours to go to LA.
Oh wow.
I went to school every day. It was awful.
It sounds awful.
So the minute I get to school, they're like, "Get out, go home." I'm like, okay. So I'm running back home in my car, my little Toyota, and watching the world unfold when I'm 18 years old, at that time, 20 years old. So it was scary. Cut to 2020. Friday night, that week, of when George Floyd was murdered, the protesting started. It did start peacefully, but of course we get the nuggets, we get the looters, we get the idiots, we get the rioters who started to destroy our city Friday night. What happens again? I pack my stuff up and go head over to my parents' house that are still in an empire, and I hide away for 3 days. I hid. I was scared because my city was burning again. The peaceful protesters were there during the day, but the idiots came at night. And that's where, unfortunately, Black Lives Matter and a lot of these organizations get the worst name, because Black Lives Matter is not about burning your town. Black Lives Matter is about fight against police brutality and making sure everybody is accountable. So here I am on Monday saying, I need to get back to my hometown. I need to get back to the city and help my people and help spread the word. So I leave my parents, even though the city was on curfew. My town, my side of town here had a 2 o'clock curfew. So I had to go help clean up my city. I had to get up at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and started cleaning my city. At the same time, I got my waters, about probably 50 bunches of bananas, and all the protesters that were happening in Santa Monica, Westwood, downtown, every day I was a part of each and every protest, passing out waters and bananas to everybody. It was hot.
It's amazing.
It was good, but I was angry. I was also angry because I'm a Black woman. I was born Black, I'm gonna die Black. And that whole week also, I had some revelations about some relationships I have with my friends who were not with me in my movement, in the movement, and it hurt my feelings. So I had to reevaluate some relationships that week as well. This month, I'm still reevaluating people's relationships. It's funny that I felt that I was complicit as a Black woman. I should have said more about when Ahmaud Arbery was murdered in Georgia by jogging while Black. I should have said more when I found out about Breonna Taylor. This is the time I said, you know what, George Floyd, he might not have been an angel, but you know what, he was murdered. And
he didn't deserve to die, clearly.
That deserved to die like that.
No, not at all.
So that was my wake-up call, and a lot of people's wake-up call, whether you're white, Black, Hispanic, Latino, Jewish, Middle Eastern, the nation's wake-up call, the world's wake-up call, that police brutality has got to end. And I'm not a fan of the word defund the police department, but I am a fan of saying we need to reform it.
Absolutely.
We need better training. The police department needs better training. They need more diverse communications, diverse training in the field. Something has got to be definitely changed. But we definitely do need police. We do need to call, if I'm in trouble, I'm going to call 911.
Right.
We got to do that, but I definitely believe that there should be a medium in terms of that, and police reform is the word I really use, because I think when you use the word D, it's negative.
Yeah, agreed.
The R-E, it's resurrect, reform, rejuvenate, reform. It's more positive, right? Absolutely. So I do believe in Black Lives Matter. I also do believe in also All Lives Matter too. I come from a very diverse family. I was born in a white neighborhood, for God's sakes. 95% of my friends are white, you know? So I believe Black Lives Matter, but I also believe definitely everyone's lives matter. We just have to respect each other. Right. And during this time where we're so angry and we're so upset and we're in freaking masks. I hate wearing masks too, but you know what? I'm going to do it because it's called being unselfish. We have to be unselfish. We've got to think about others, right?
Absolutely. And you know what, Shannon, what I love too about you just embody diversity in terms of you are friends with everybody. I mean, I don't know all of your friends, obviously, but the friends that I see you interacting with, I mean, they are of all backgrounds, and you show so much love for everybody. Even when I see you, volunteering with people that I'm assuming you don't even know who they are. But your love is just coming out. And I love, one of my favorite things that you shared was, and I don't remember your friend's name, but the gentleman who's wearing the cowboy hat in your car, and you guys were in West Hollywood, and you guys were passing out stuff to the people protesting, like you were talking about. And he was just like but you guys were just like out of love and compassion. And It was
Yes.
amazing. And I love that.
I was raised that way, you know. I'm a
It's
straight woman,
beautiful.
but I have so many LGBTQ friends in the community, and they embrace me as well. I mean, I've had the same conversation in my podcast that people's like, "Why do you have so many gay friends?" I'm like, "Well, why don't you have so many gay friends?"
Dude, why just have like friends? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
usually label people.
I don't. Yes,
I mean, the whole thing, like I love what you said. Yes, Black Lives Matter, and yes, all lives matter. And I mean, I never think about, is somebody, what is their sexual orientation? What is the skin color? Where are they from? I don't know. I just see a friend or a person or a
yeah,
human,
yeah,
and to me but I realize not everybody does that. So there is a lot of labeling that happens,
well,
and that's just human nature, right? Because we have to compartmentalize, and that's how our brains process anything. And so
yes,
I
yes.
absolutely understand that. But when you can come at the world in general with a big open heart, then that's when you win, I believe.
Well, again, my brother's gay. I've been associated with the LGBT community since high school, and I know that they're a marginalized group of people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Black person and being a part of a marginalized minority group as well, we all have to come together as one and be unified.
Yep.
Not saying that it's Evie White, it's the evil white person. No, not at all. Not at all. Again, most of my friends are Caucasian and non-Black, okay? But we definitely have to have conversations. This is the time to have uncomfortable conversations. I've had uncomfortable conversations. My phone during that whole week rang off the hook from people I didn't even know, Hallie. People who knew me from social media and asked me, "Can I call you? Because I don't know how to talk about this, Shannon." I'm like, "Sure, absolutely." From all races, they called me that whole week. Still, people are still calling me. "How do I address this, Shannon? What does white fragility mean? What does this mean? How do I speak about this? Why can't we talk? Why can't we touch Black people's hair?" I mean, yeah, I had all kinds of questions, and it was hysterical. But then it was like the conversations that I had on the phone were just enlightening. It's like it's not like I was the the Black guru of all the Black people. But I'll tell you what, the phone calls and the email messages and the texts that I received all of June just set me back to like, wow, a lot of people need to be educated on people's diverse ethnicities.
Right.
Now, not just
Right.
people, but everybody needs to be learned. Everybody needs to learn about the diversification of certain people. So it's just been again, the word pivot, honey.
I know it.
Pivot.
Well, and you just embrace it all with such grace. And
Thank you.
that's really to me what is so
Thank you.
beautiful just about you, is that, all of it. I was one of those people that called you, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna think I'm so dumb. But but no,
No.
I loved it. And you had such great perspective, but also, like I said, you come at it with such a sense of grace and compassion and love. Like, as soon as you open your mouth, I was like, oh, I feel safe. I feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Like, I wanted to learn more. And I'm like, how can I learn more from you? How can I like soak up what you're telling me? Because to me, that was so impactful. And I have other friends that did the same. And, I feel really fortunate and really grateful for
Yeah.
having friends like you, and just knowing that you are putting yourself out there in such a positive way. And
Thank
really,
you.
you are really putting yourself on a platform of sharing this knowledge and this sense of grace and compassion and love
Thank you.
to make a difference in the world. And I think that is really what's that's really powerful and really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it also it's a testament for me that I'm becoming more forgiving. Patience level is still through the roof. I got to work on a lot of things with patience.
Girl, I got to work on that too. Trust me.
What I'm seeing on the internet makes me very upset.
Mm-hmm.
Not only along with the police brutality, but what's going on with people who are just been so mean to people about wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
And not wearing masks, I should say. Real quick, this last week I was gone for 9 days, and I traveled to Montana, Chicago, and Connecticut. I literally traveled across the country in 9 days. And this is a shout out to American Airlines. Shout out to American Airlines. I never really liked American Airlines. They handled there were some people who were rude and some people who were very short and curt about wearing masks on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in my chair and I see people go by and they're just irritated that they have to wear masks. They're like, oh, I got to wear a mask for 3 hours on a plane or 4 hours. These flight attendants are working 12 to 14-hour shifts.
Right. I can't
They
imagine.
have to wear the masks. The pilots, maybe the pilots don't have to because they're stuck in their little compartment. But the people who are in the crew, everyone in the crew had to wear masks. And I'm just here just like saying, thank God, God is watching me to make sure I get home safe.
Yep.
To my next destination. And if I have to wear a freaking mask for 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours, so be it. And it just makes me so mad that these people, there are a lot of selfish people out there who think that wearing masks are being like sheep or they're being trained or conforming. But you know what? If I can protect your 90-year-old grandmother and then your 70-year-old uncle, and if I'm asymptomatic and I have symptoms that I didn't know about and I'm making someone else sick, how bad would I feel about that?
Right.
We have to use the word compassion now. We have to be empathetic to people's needs. And if it's a delicate inconvenience for a few minutes, I'm going to wear a mask. And I'm going to lay down my sword and make sure that you are there before I am.
Well, that is what everyone needs to do. So everyone needs to listen to Queen Shan Shan because it's not about us individually all the time, right?
If the world listened to me, Hallie, the world would be perfect.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we are listening to you. I'm putting that on a quote card. It's getting out there.
Listen to Queen Shan Shan, the world will be perfect. Boom.
That's right.
Period with T.
That's right. So what's your next pivot?
Well, you can't see it on my desk, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 computers on my desk.
Oh my God.
I have a Mac and I have 4 PCs. One of the PCs died while I was traveling. It was so depressing. So I couldn't do a lot of my editing on when I was traveling like I wanted to do. I have a brand new PC that actually I'm doing the show with you with right now. And one other PC that's literally dying, which is a Panasonic, which I love. So my pivot today after I hang up with you, literally after I hang up, take the wig off, take the makeup off, is transfer all my data to this new computer. And that's a pain in my butt. So that's my Wednesday pivot.
The Wednesday pivot is now you're a tech specialist. Who knew?
Who knew? I'm firing myself. I don't want to be a tech specialist, dang it.
I know. Well, I'm sure you have some more exciting things coming up and you will make your life exciting because that is what you do. And I love it. So before you share where everybody can find you and connect with you, I want to know what is something that makes you feel sassy?
When I literally get an unboxing of makeup in my packages and I'm just trying on the colors, I don't have any wherewithal. I just put it on my cheek, I put it on my eye, put it on my head. I find out if my happiness is putting on a new wig. You know, the wig store's just opened 2 weeks ago, so I was so excited. She's old. This one's old.
I like it. It's fun.
She's still cute.
She's super cute.
Yeah. So makeup and wigs. I mean, people may think that's superficial, and you know, it could be superficial, but that's it makes me happy. Again, travel as well, and knowing what also makes me sassy. I guess just looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I'm here. I'm still here.
I love that.
Doing the best I can do. I'm literally doing the best I can do. I'm very hard on myself. People who really know me say I'm one of the biggest critics and I need to work on that. But I'm doing the best I can do. And every day is a new journey. It's a new challenge for me.
I love it. Amen to that. So tell us where we can connect with you. Please share about your podcast because it's amazing.
Thank you. Our podcast, we took a little hiatus between November and March of this year and started over because of the COVID. We had new conversations and new themes. So my podcast is called A Broadcast Podcast. The name came from I'm a woman. I have a broad opinions and a broad thinking, and I travel abroad. So that was the name of it. And the podcast is about travel, food, beauty, and culture. And now we're talking about community. So we're taking a nice little hook around the theme of the podcast. You can find me on Instagram at abroadpodcasts, one word. You can find me on Twitter at what is my Twitter? Oh my goodness. _broad_prod, PROD. And then my other Instagram is Queen Shan Shan.
I love it. Well, I'll put all the links in the show notes so everybody can follow you. And I highly recommend it because Shannon will light you up. She has amazing makeup tips and she's a lot of
learning. Yes.
Yeah. And she will give you a great sense of positivity and how to pivot with grace, compassion, and style.
Thank you, Hallie.
Thank you so much for being here. This is so fun. I love you so much. I'm so glad you were here to share all of your wisdom today. And I just am so appreciative and grateful for our friendship.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for you. And you've been a light to me. I look at your videos every day. I look at your posts every day. And you're just a beaming jewel of light. And I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. The feeling is mutual. Well, thank you all for being here on Sassy AF TV and the Sassy AF audio experience. We will see you next week for another fabulous episode. See you then.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Queen Shan Shan and I have connected from day one. She is real, fun, and definitely sassy. I love how she refuses to give in to the obstacles that she has faced, and she always rises to the occasion with a smile. I hope Shannon has inspired you to kick ass in your own life and truly show up as your sassy self. Thanks again for being here and tuning in for another episode of Sassy AF TV. It would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment and take a screenshot to share it with your tribe on Instagram or Facebook. Don't forget to tag me at Sassy Healthy Fit. Then make sure to head over to sassyhealthy.fit and sign up for our mailing list so you always know the latest and greatest in sassy fun. See you next time.